We've got multiple speakers here. Our next session is a panel conversation. We have Mauricio Salazar, founder of Construya Red, which has more than 250,000 members. He is currently pursuing a master's in engineering management at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles and has a degree in business administration. Alexander is a senior consultant in strategy, innovation, and business communities applied to entrepreneurship ecosystems. He is the founder of Emprendient. Oh no, I knew I was going to say this wrong. Emprendiendola. Sorry, Alex. A content source about entrepreneurship in LATAM. And Juan Diego Castaño is an evangelist at Come Up and is the CMX Connect Director for the Colombia chapter, known for his development and social impact initiatives. I'm very excited for this conversation. Today, they're going to be sharing how this conversation will bridge the gap between the community industry and adjacent industries and will provide insight into the diverse cultural landscapes within Latin America and how they impact community dynamics. Please join me in welcoming Mauricio, Alex, and Juan.
I am Juan Diego Castaño, and I am honored to be here today. I come from Colombia and had the privilege of dedicating over a decade to the creation and structuring of different communities. For the past 3 years, I have been collaborating with CNX, and it has been an exciting journey leading the CNX Connect Colombia chapter and working so hard like evangelists in the theme that we love. Joining me on this panel today are two exceptional experts and friends in the field of community management. Now let me introduce you Mauricio Salazar and Alexander Parrales. Please, if you can introduce to our public and now, who are you? What do you do?
Oh, okay, I go first then. Thank you, Beth, for the invitation. Thank you, Juan, for hosting the panel, and thank you, CMX, for inviting us, and for all of you that are here seeing us and sharing with us this moment. Thank you very much. And I believe at the end of the panel we can have like some questions and answers space. So I am very excited for hearing about you as well. My name is Mauricio Salazar. I have been working in the digital community space for more than 10 years. As Beth said, I founded a company that now has more than 250,000 members. And then I also have been working on creating a new technology, which is Pandoty, in which we are hosting digital communities. So far, we have worked with dozens of companies, and I have had some experiences mainly in Latin America working with small companies to big multi-billion-dollar companies. Usually, their main objectives with creating digital communities have been to reduce customer success costs, to optimize operations, or to increase revenues. Maybe perhaps we have like a rewards program or by other means that we can share later. And well, yes, as Beth said, I'm living in Los Angeles. I am from Colombia, but I'm living in Los Angeles because I am pursuing a master's in engineering management at the University of Southern California, USC. And I am a Fulbright scholar. So, well, very happy to be here with you.
Great, Mauricio. Hey, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to have a person that is not used to talking Spanish trying to do it. So thank you, Beth, for trying to pronounce emprendiéndola. I know it's hard. Even it's hard in Spanish. So okay, my name is Alex, and I'm right now here in Pereira, Colombia, in the beautiful botanical garden of the Technological University of Pereira. Thank you so much to CMX for the invitation. What about me? I'm Alex. I'm from Colombia. I'm a content creator around entrepreneurship and innovation here in LATAM. I've been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem since the ending of the past century. I've been creating, growing, and also killing businesses. So it's a pleasure to be here to share some of the knowledge in this, wow, more than 25 years working on communities, even though that sometimes I didn't know that I've been working on communities. I've been working with communities as a tool to grow my businesses. So that's my experience, and that's why I'm here with Juan Diego and Mauricio.
Okay, together we represent a diverse range of experience and perspective of community management in LATAM. We are excited to share our insights and discuss the evolving landscape of digital communities with all of you. Thank you for joining us today. We have prepared some questions for Mauricio and Alex, and we will have a question and answer space at the end of the panel if we have the time. So if you have any question, please leave them in the QA session of the baby platform and rest them at the end of the session or via LinkedIn. To kick off our discussion, I would like to start with a very basic question. That's what do you consider to be the most important aspect of creating a community? And in your experience, what are the essential components that cannot be missed when building a community in Latin America?
Do you want to go first, Alex, or I can?
Oh no, go ahead, Mauricio. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, I first I will try to approach like the second question you asked is like the difference between or what cannot be overlooked when we create a digital community or a community in Latin America. So one thing that I feel now that I'm living in the US and I've had all the experience in Latin America is that the sense of community in the US is different than the sense of community in Latin America. Because as in the US, we have a lot of multiculturalism and differences and a more diverse population. Once you are, I feel like once you are kind of born, you belong to a community. Perhaps, for example, if you are Hispanic or Latin American or Asian or I don't know. Once you're born, you belong to something. In Latin America, we don't have this kind of sense of feeling. Even, for example, at university here, I was impressed that at university we have like more than 500 clubs, and each club is a community. So we have like I don't know the chess lovers, but also the cheese lovers, but the ones that want to do finance and the ones to do sports. It's full of clubs. We don't have that in Latin America. So I believe that the main difference between the sense of community and how to develop it in Latin America is that you first of all have to have like a kind of clear vision of what is the objective of your community. Also, I would say how it has to be very clear how this community you are creating is going to create more value than a person like doing whatever you want to do with your community by themselves. Also, sponsoring a community, you have to be very clear on who how it's gonna survive, how it's going to be sponsored, how it's gonna be funded. Um, Perhaps in Latin America, it's very important to find a sponsor and to identify how the sponsor is gonna have like some benefit of having a community. So that's the that because also in Latin America, I believe it's more difficult. As I said, for example, in the university clubs, there are a lot of volunteers. In Latin America, it's not that easy to find volunteers for this kind of community. So the objective and the funding of the community is very important in Latin America.
True, it's true. It's difficult to find volunteers for this kind of communities in Latin America. And also here we have these differences, cultural differences between the the nationalities of from our continent. I think that for me, from my experience, is one of the things that you have to have in mind when managing a community uh, that have reached in all the continent and all Latin America, because even though we all speak Spanish, but at least Spanish speaking Latam, because Brazil is another thing. They speak Portuguese and they have the samba thing and
Alex is connected with us. Which is the question? Thank you, Mauro. Thank you, Alex, for your insights on that. Now, moving on, I like to explore an aspect. What strategies in managing community behavior that we have proven be successful in Latin American market could be applied on a global scale?
Okay, so one 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 strategy that I would like to bring to the panel is we are working very strongly in having rewards programs in Latin America, for example, and mainly to direct our communities towards the objectives of the community. And for this, I would love to give you an example of one client that worked with us. They are a client that have like products in more than 20,000 stores. So each store is an ally of our client, and they created a community for these store users, is what they call them. And they used to have like a mystery shopper going to each store to find how their product were placed in each of their stores. With our community and with our rewards program, what we did was, okay, we're gonna encourage our store users to place the product, to take a picture of it, how it's going to how it's being seen in their stores, and then upload them into the community. And in this way, they can earn rewards by points and then redeem them on something else. But in this way, we got all the data, all the pictures of all the stores. So I know we know now how each store is, and the company is reducing this operational cost like in a 95%. So this is something that we are using not only like to orientate them into like this kind of activities, but we are like having challenges a lot of the time, and we are giving points if they consume some content, or if, for example, if they help someone in the community, they can earn points. So we are orientating the behavior of our communities mainly with our rewards program, and well, yeah, that's mainly how we are like directing their our activities.
Thank you, Mauricio. Alex, we are talking about the second question.
I hope to be back. Maybe my connection right here in the botanical garden is not the best, but I try. Okay, so we're talking about behavior, and talking about behavior in communities. I don't know if in another regions, in another countries, you have this issue, but here in Latam, we have this thing, especially with the large corporates. You know, when you go to talk with a CEO of a corporation and you talk about communities, it is possible that he thinks around one of two things. Maybe you say community, and he's thinking about the person that is running the social media accounts. So you are with the all the vibes and all the energy and all the enthusiasm. Let's go communities. Let's have this community program for your company. And he is going to tell you, oh, no, 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 no. We already have. We have this person that is running the campaigns on TikTok and is doing the content for Reels on Instagram and so on and yada, yada, yada. Mm. Or when you talk with a corporate about community, he may think around, no, 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 we are doing community. We are doing this social responsibility thing, donating for children in the poor areas, and no, community is something else. So I want to recognize right now the work that my friend Juan Diego is doing here in Latin America, because he's shaping the behavior of the corporates around communities. Juan Diego is running Come Up as an annual summit to talk about communities in Latin America. Come Up is also an award for communities in Latin America to recognize the work of community managers that are working to change that mindset around communities. So I don't know. I just wanted to give an applause and a recognition to Juan Diego for his work on Come Up around all this, but because we need to change that behavior from corporates to have more sponsors for our communities. That's it. That's my take on the behavioral thing around communities in Latin America.
Thank you, Alex. Well, and now for our third question, just for Mauricio. What are the key emerging technologies being adopted by digital communities in Latin America? How are these technologies affecting user engagement and participation?
Well, I believe that like a global trend now is artificial intelligence. So like digital communities aren't like outside of it. Uh, Artificial intelligence is being used like widely, from customer support to increasing like perhaps like having like an easier way to identify customer behavior, maybe to modify the platform depending on who the user is. Now it is easier, for example, also to, as the example I said, I brought before, like to check like any activity that a user is doing, uh, and a lot of other stuff that that artificial intelligence is evolving all the time, and now it's like in the imagination of the community manager, like how far we can go with artificial intelligence. And also, as I told you, the rewards programs is being a trend in digital communities in this moment. But I don't want you to see it like a point, only like a point based, like if it was like a point based structure of airlines or banks, but it has to merge into the community platform so that the community manager can uh, create challenges or define how someone can get some points and define how this person can have some benefits of owning these points. So it is like a merge between those two kind of technologies that are being adopted in Latin America. That I say it's kind of a trend.
Thank you, Mauricio. Continuing with our panel, I would like to ask you, how has the use of artificial intelligence, AI, impacted the management of digital communities in Latin America? What change have you observed in community management practice as a result of integrate AI technologies?
May I interrupt,
Yes, yes,
Mauricio?
Alex.
Um, I would like to know your opinion about the extended use of WhatsApp as a tool for communities in Latin America. It's pretty usual that when we are trying to create a community here in Latin America, oh, create a WhatsApp group, and that's it. What do you think about the extended use of WhatsApp? Now WhatsApp has an artificial intelligence agent in the app. Maybe that's an advantage, or what do you think about?
Well, I believe I it's okay if someone thinks that WhatsApp is like the beginning of creating a community, but I don't think if you are like a proper community manager or if you are a company, like to have all your community in a WhatsApp group. I believe that you should like use like a platform that is like created or tailor made, or I don't know, like to host digital communities. So I'm not a big fan. I use WhatsApp a lot to communicate with my family, with my friends, and everything. But I'm not a big fan of WhatsApp as a community creation tool or hosting. So yeah, mainly because it's not made for that. Although they have the community space, it's not made for that.
Thank you, Mauricio. Go ahead with the artificial intelligence.
Uh, do you want to answer about the artificial intelligence first, and I go last?
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Right. That's okay. Well, about the influence of artificial intelligence on communities. Recently, I was reading this report from McKinsey, and they found that in corporations, the employees 90% of the employees are using artificial intelligence in the day in the daily work, you know, as an assistant and to write maybe documents, to have an opinion, okay, for creative stuff. But just 13% of the companies have an structured strategy to implement the artificial intelligence. What I'm watching on communities is pretty the same. All the community managers, all of us, Mauricio, Juan Diego, and all the people that I know in the community industry in LATAM, we are using artificial intelligence to automate some tasks like the onboarding, for example. But it's not usual that our corporate sponsors have an structured strategy and a plan around artificial intelligence. So I think it's a challenge because it's a gap. There's a gap between the individual using and the corporate using. This gap is a challenge, but also it's an opportunity. Maybe here in Latam, we could be pioneers in reducing the gap between the individual use and the corporate use. Maybe communities could be a good use case for using artificial intelligence in the corporate arena here in Latin America. Maybe I think so. It's more a wish than an opinion for me here in the continent. What about you, Mauricio?
Yes, I'll try to be quick because we have like 4 minutes left. But
Okay.
well, I don't know where artificial intelligence will going to lead us because, well, here even cars like drive by themselves with artificial intelligence. So far, what I've seen is that with artificial intelligence, you can predict user behavior. You can moderate your your public in some way. You can personalize user experience. You can create knowledge bases to deliver customer support and to reduce cost of call centers or whatever. So I to have challenges, as I said before, and to analyze images or even documents. For example, if you want to analyze a document with artificial intelligence, you can do it like easily. So it's helping you, like it's in the community manager imagination how they want to use the artificial intelligence.
Okay, we have just 3 minutes and two questions that we prepared and one question from Anna. If you want, I could read the question from Anna.
Yeah,
Say it. Yes, sure. Do you often
that will
face
be great.
challenge getting people on LATAM to join in community on platforms other than WhatsApp? What strategy have you found effective for overcoming this? Please, short words.
Do you want to go first, Alex, or I can?
Go, because I think you have this challenge every day.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be quick because we have 2 minutes. Well, it's always a challenge, like to move users from WhatsApp in Latin America to platforms. the main thing is that you have to deliver value to them in the platform. So if you create a community and you are not delivering any content of value, they are not going there in any way. So first, you need to create content that is interesting to them. For example, in CMX, we have this. We have interesting content. We have these events. So we need to belong to CMX. It's the same with a different platform. So if one is kind of a rewards program, which they are having like a direct benefit, but the other benefit is what they are sharing in this community and how it is useful for their daily lives. So if you have, I don't know, a community, how they are beginning with the content and the connections they may have in the community is all that you need to have, like, to bring them from one place to another.
That's it. Nothing more to say. If you are adding value to the participants, they are going to go wherever they have to, you know. But if the only value in the community is the messaging in the WhatsApp group, they're going to stay there forever. So it's a question of value.
Okay, thank you so much, Mauricio. Do you follow in LinkedIn, same like Alex and me? And thank you, Beth and CN family, for this opportunity to talk about community in LATAM, culture, mindset, technology, and the role. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. It was such a fantastic conversation. I know that I got a lot out of it. So thank you so much for joining.